Hello, good evening, and welcome. This is Science Fiction Snob. Today we're going to talk about Supergirl and the politics of Supergirl, generally about the show, the last 4 seasons, my thoughts on it, and where it's going, and will it survive? Because I don't think it's going to survive much longer, and I'll tell you why. So, firstly, let me get into some of my review of the show. Sort of a general, not so much a review, more of a general overview of the acting characters. Overall, I think that the show is it's well acted, and the characters are good and interesting, but they ruin it with their political crap that they throw in there, and I'll go over that. First of all, before I do, let me talk about the target audience of Supergirl. So, Supergirl is a show that my family and I watched. We watched every Monday when it was on, and now it's on Sundays in our area. We watch it or I should say we used to watch it every Sunday. I have a daughter, 6 and 12, and my wife, and we would all get together, the whole thing, and we would watch it when it was on. Kind of like the only show that we really, the whole family enjoyed. The 6-year-old would like it. The 12-year-old is kind of the target audience for her. She's a girl. I got all girls in my family. I kind of like superheroes, so I could sit through it and enjoy it. So, a rare TV show that all ages, sort of, could enjoy. Last night we were watching the show, and it was just my wife and I watching it. I could not get the 6 and 12-year-old from their Fortnite and their YouTubes to come over and watch it. They're obviously losing interest, and this isn't something that just happened. I mean, it's been getting harder and harder every time to get them to watch the show. My wife and I still push it because we want that family time watching something all together, because it's rare for us because everyone's different ages. But it's been losing them for a while, and this is the first time where they actually, wouldn't come and watch the show when the wife and I basically watched it ourselves. So, to me, that bodes ill for Supergirl. Keep that up, and pretty soon it'll be canceled because no one will be watching it. So, before I get into the problems, the politics, the things that I really hate about Supergirl, let's talk a little bit about the positives, the good things. So, generally, the acting, I feel, is fine. No problem with that. Melissa, who is Supergirl, to me, she looks like Supergirl. She's got that proper mix of youthful naivete, girl new to the city sort of thing. I mean, she's her third or fourth year being in, the national city, which is basically New York, right? But she did a good job of conveying that early on, being her first job, filling her way around, learning about what it is basically to be an adult, and she emotes, and she does a great job as as Supergirl. No problem with her. I think the guy, his name escapes me, the guy who plays Jean Jones, he's a good actor as well. He does a great job in that role. All the other actors are generally solid. I've got no problem with them. I enjoyed, unfortunately, I really enjoyed Callista Flockhart as the Cat Grant, basically the Perry White character of Supergirl. But she left after the first season. I'm pretty sure they moved filming from LA to Vancouver to save money, and she wasn't willing to do the commute, so they just basically wrote her out. But she did a great job as the hard-hitting, bitchy boss type, demanding bitchy boss. And it's kind of sorry to see her go. One of the standout characters that I think that they don't use quite well enough is the woman who plays Lena Luthor. and she has this. She always has this look on her face. Well, I shouldn't say always. At certain portions, where some sort of more dilemma gets up, involving science, where she's going to do something or not. She has this look on her face, and you're not sure for the whole. For the last 2 seasons she's been involved, I've never been sure if she's going to go bad, like a Luthor, or stay good. She just, something comes up and they're like, oh, what's she going to do? Oh, and you're not quite sure. So I thought that was a strong point of the series, and I've been waiting for them to make her go bad. Now, last night, on the episode that we watched, they introduced her Lex Luthor. And there was a conflict between them, and of course went bad, and she, didn't. So I'm assuming that them bringing Lex Luthor in is their way of saying that Lena Luthor is never going to go bad. She's always going to be the good Luthor, which is too bad, because she had a couple of opportunities over the last couple seasons to sort of, go bad and betray Supergirl and really put in some conflict there, but they didn't do that. So that's unfortunate. But oh well, and also it's unfortunate because she had, as I said, she had a way, like that actress had a way of making you look at her at her expression and go, I'm not sure which way she's gonna go. All right, so that's the characters. Like I said, all the elements, all the actors are solid. They've brought in a lot of different characters at times. They've got a good rotation. I have no problem with any of the acting. They have a good solid base for a good show if they could just write the show properly and get the political crap out of it. So let's talk about the politics that is ruining the show. Supergirl's a very political show. So the big thing that they have ongoing throughout the seasons is the immigration issue. Now, I mean, immigration was big when Trump first got elected in 2016, but they're still pushing it. It's 2019. Let it go. Go to something else. We get it. You don't like Trump, and he's bad for immigration. But the truth of the matter is, let me go over what's been going on with their whole immigration thing. So, Supergirl, basically, all the aliens on Earth are, quote, the immigrants, and they're just all the good guys trying to do good things, and then the people who oppose them are bad. So, the whole immigration thing first starts off with the president, who's played by Linda Carter. Just a little bit of a shout out there before we go on. Sidebar. They do a good job of bringing in the guest actors, right? Linda Carter is the president. They had Dean Cain as Supergirl's father. I mean, her adopted father. Terry Hatcher was her boyfriend's mother, and Kevin Sorbo, her boyfriend's father. So they do a good job of bringing in these older actors who worked on DC properties and stuff in the past. That's kind of funny. So back to the main point. So Linda Carter is the president. Linda Carter is secretly an alien. I mean, you're trying to get across the point that, oh no, immigrants aren't bad, aliens are not bad. They're just normal people like the rest of us. And then meanwhile, the president, what could be a bigger betrayal to the American people? A president that is secretly an alien and has been hiding this for, God knows their whole life. I mean, of course people are going to freak out. I mean, how can you, to further strengthen that, Supergirl, of course, knew before. She found out before everybody else that the president was really an alien. She's like, oh, you're an alien. Did she tell anybody? No, of course not. She kept it secret. I mean, you think a normal person is going to be suspicious of the government and aliens after that? I mean, what was Linda Carter doing? Why wouldn't she come forward and say that she's an alien if she really is one? Why is she, why did she try to hide it? It makes it suspicious right off the bat. So, I mean, this whole, aliens aren't bad. They're just they're good guys. How would you get people to expect to believe that? How can you honestly, play that piece? it's crazy. Secondly, I mean, there's numerous examples in Supergirl, starting off with the first season where aliens come down and they kill people and they escape from prison, they blow things up. I mean, why wouldn't a normal, everyday person be a little bit concerned about aliens? Sure, maybe they're good ones, but geez, there's been a lot of people killed by bad ones. You know, they just sort of gloss over that and just all, everyone who hates aliens is a racist. So, I mean, that's been happening very much in these later seasons. So, a new group called the what do they call them? Sons of Liberty. That's what they're called. They've come up and they're basically the Ku Klux Klan of the Supergirl universe. They're against aliens, and they have these dogs that can somehow sniff out if you're an alien, and they bark at them. So they've been outing aliens, and just they go around with baseball bats too. I mean, as if someone takes a baseball bat to Supergirl, it's not going to do nothing. So they've been outing aliens. So these are the bad guys. They've been sort of the ongoing bad group for the last little while. Meanwhile, of course, there are alien groups that come out and are against the Sons of Liberty, and they go around killing them. So if anything, neither side is doing that great of a job. So why would people in this universe fear aliens? So so the president is a secret alien. That's number one. And then in the second season, it kind of revolves around Supergirl's boyfriend, whose name is Mon-El, and he is from a planet that was in the same, I can't remember the name of the planet just offhand, same solar system as Krypton was in, and when Krypton exploded, all the pieces, rained down on this planet and basically destroyed that planet as well, so people had to leave. Of course, they didn't all die like Krypton, but so there's lots of them left, or reasonable amounts compared to the Kryptonians. But so they're aliens too, and in the second season, they basically come to Earth, and Terry Hatcher decides that she's going to take over Earth. So they attack Earth and blast it and, kill God knows how many people. So yeah, why would humans be afraid of aliens after they've come in and, the president is a secret alien, the bunch of aliens attacked and tried to take over the planet. Oh, why would we be scared of aliens? Aliens are great, yeah. So that was like the second season. The third season revolved around a character called Rain, who is a Kryptonian, semi-religious figure somehow, and basically, her thing is to, purge evil people, right? So that sounds kind of good, right? But purge means to kill, and she goes around being the judge, jury, and executioner. Starts off killing, bad people, criminals, there's some criminals, let's go kill them. And of course, Supergirl doesn't like that, and so then of course anyone who interferes with her killing criminals is also the enemy. So she fights Supergirl. There's a whole storyline about that. So, but so why would again, why would humans be afraid of aliens after all this happened? Of course they would. Like, it's very reasonable. But all the characters in the Supergirl universe, the good characters are all like, oh, I don't see why you hate aliens. Oh, we got to fight this alien hatred. Well, I mean, normal people have a great reason to hate these aliens. I mean, look at all the things that have happened to them. I mean, they had to put for some, Mon-El and his types they're afraid, they can't take lead in the atmosphere. So they had to put all this lead in the atmosphere to keep these aliens. That's their solution to the problem. Put lead in the atmosphere and keep all the aliens out. Well, I mean, kind of a lot of lead in the. I mean, they said it was going to be okay, but I mean, a lot of lead in the atmosphere. It's not good for us to be breathing either. So, yeah. Anyway, but no, it's still, humans that are afraid of aliens are somehow, there's something wrong with them. So that's the whole alien storyline, the immigration storyline. Somewhat lame, very one-sided. the characters cannot see the other side. I shouldn't say that. There's one point in the present season where Jimmy Olsen, kind of gets to see this. Like he interviews one of the leader of these Sons of Liberty guys, and he kind of almost sees their view, but that quickly changes. They do some bad stuff, and he quickly flips back. So it doesn't really go anywhere. So that's the whole immigration storyline. A couple other places where they've done, in my view, a poor job. So there's this one of the seasons where they cuck out. They have Superman is there, and I think the actor does a pretty good job. I'd be interested in seeing him as Superman in the movie. I think he could do a good job there. But so they totally cuck out Superman. So there's this one point where they have to fight some bad guy, and it's going to be either Superman or Supergirl to fight him. And I can't remember exactly. I think Superman gets taken over by something, or he goes crazy somehow. So Supergirl fights him and beats him. So then he goes up to her and he says, well, you're way better than me, so you fight the bad guy. You're the best. You're the bestest. I suck. You're great. You fight them and I'll just go away. Like, geez, does that sound like Superman to you? I mean, first of all, I don't think there'd be any way that Supergirl could beat Superman, like on a strength for strength basis. First of all, he's a man. Men are stronger than women. He's been on Earth longer, so he's been, able to absorb the radiation of Earth's sun for a longer time, so he should be stronger. Plus the fact that she's been doing this for like a year, and he's been Superman for, much longer. He has way more experience, and yet, she beats him. And she could beat him. Maybe he's under control. Maybe he can't. He's not fighting properly or whatever. But for him to go back and say, well, you just, you're the best, and you're better than me, and I suck. You fight the bad guy. Like, is there not some way they could have done that without making him such a cuck? They could say, oh, he's got somewhere else to fight or something else to do over there. They have to make him, bow down before the power of Supergirl and genuflect before her in order to, so that she can be, you can't raise up Supergirl without, lowering Superman. Is that the deal? Like, what the heck's, it is Supergirl's show, but, do you really have to destroy Superman in order to build up Supergirl? So the third and final thing that really, that bugged me a little bit about the show, and I think bugged a lot of the audience, is I believe it's the second season. It's the whole lesbian storyline with Supergirl's non-super sister, who's the head of the DEO. First of all, the first season goes by. There's no talk of any type of romantic involvement with the sister. We don't know if she's gay or not, or anything. It's just not talked about. She's it makes sense too. She's busy at her job. All of a sudden, in the second season, they decide that they're going to make her gay. So the first part of the story comes out, and it's all about her coming out as gay. So, they spent all this time where she goes about, and she's so concerned that when she's coming out, oh, how are people going to react to me? What's going to happen? Oh my, all worried about this. It's not the 1980s anymore. It's present year. Nobody cares if you're gay anymore, right? But they spent all this time, going over it, what's going to happen. And then she comes out, I think she comes out like over 3 episodes. She basically comes out to Supergirl, then she comes out to somebody else, and then her mother. And guess what? Each time she comes out, the reaction of the character is, oh, okay, that's great. Hooray. No conflict, right? If you're going to build this coming out thing is so big, you better make there be some conflict there. Something better happen, Oh, by the way, I'm gay. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Like this it's so anticlimactic. Why do they spend all this time on it and absolutely nothing happens with it? There's 2 things you can do. You can either just ignore the whole coming out storyline, because as I said, nobody cares. Or you can do the coming out storyline and then have some conflict um, come out of that. But that story is, unless the people that you're coming out to are Muslim or something like that, nobody's going to care. So that storyline is bogus. I mean, just no point in including it. There's nothing there to it. There's no conflict. So that's the whole coming out thing. And then, of course, I mean, it's just every lesbian trope you've ever seen, right? So her sister comes out, and of course, the first other lesbian she meets, she immediately falls in love with her, and they fall madly in love. And the next thing you know, they want to get married, blah 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 blah, right? So it's like, I mean, is this a thing? Is there some sort of magical attraction thing that lesbians have? Like, please tell me, let me know in the comments. I'm not a lesbian. I don't really know about these sort of things. Is there some sort of thing where when two lesbians get together, they immediately fall in love and have to get married? Like, why? Can she not date a few people before she gets married? Like, what the hell? I mean, let me know if this is a thing. I'm curious. I want to know. So the whole, I'm pretty sure that this whole lesbian storyline was, I mean, it was just stupid. I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person who thought that way, because they quickly got rid of it. By the end of that season, they eased out her girlfriend, boom, and now, it's no longer mentioned anymore, right? The Supergirl sister has gone back to being the sort of she's now head of the DEO instead of being the number 2 person, but she's gone back to being sort of a workaholic type, where she focuses on work, and personal relationships are not important to her, which makes sense, right? If you were as young as she is, she's about, the characters should be about 30 or so, and if she's you're the head of a super secret government agency, you're going to be spending all your time at work, and you would have spent most of your time working in order to get to that such a high level at such an early age. So it makes sense. So, I mean, I don't know why they didn't just stick with that in the first place. I mean, who cares? We don't need relationships all over, give Supergirl the occasional boyfriend here or there, or not. Or if you have to have some sort of romantic relationship, have it with some other characters, which is kind of what they're doing now with Brainiac and this other character, Dreamer. So, you don't have to have her there. And it was just stupid from the beginning. And like I said, they seemed to get rid of it pretty quick, because I think they got a lot of negative fan reaction from that. And I can see why. It was just a stupid story from the beginning and useless. So, this sums up my assessment of Supergirl and the politics that they're throwing in there. They're pretty much, ruining the show. They are boring my children, who don't seem to want to watch it anymore. And to be honest, both the wife and I have talked about this a couple times. We've just been shaking our head at the storylines and how foolish and unbelievable they've kind of been lately for the past couple seasons. But we still watch it because we thought that our daughters liked it, and it was a good family time that we could watch together. But if the kids are falling by the wayside for that and are no longer interested, that means pretty soon, we're going to give up and say, well, no point in watching if they are not interested, and that's going to be it for us. And I think that there's probably a lot of families that are in our similar situation watching for the same reasons, and I think that's going to kill the show. So my suggestion to the writers, smarten up, write some better stories, and then maybe you'll be able to keep our interest, because you've already lost our kids, and it's not very long. I mean, you're losing our kids, and you lost me a while ago. So good luck. We'll see how things go in season 5. Also, something that I wanted to mention with this the present controversy with Captain Marvel and the whole feminist TV shows, feminist movies. I mean, I think that if Supergirl had a better storyline and better writers, it would be a great feminist show, one that I could even watch. Supergirl has that she's strong, yet she still is feminine. In my view, it's not like Captain Marvel, she doesn't have to stand there and have only two expressions. She can emote and express, her femininity and still be strong. I don't know why they couldn't. I mean, if they had taken a cue from this actress, Melissa Benoist, I mean, she would have done a much better job and does a much better job of representing a strong female character who doesn't have to be a man in order to be strong. And it's a shame that they couldn't have done that for something like Captain Marvel, which I feel was a complete and utter failure. So, like, subscribe, ring the bell. I read all the comments. Leave a comment. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on the feminist writing in present-day pop culture. See you next time.